And welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am Michael Buckeister, leading the car today. I'm in the driver's seat with my man, Billy Hatton, sitting over here in the passenger seat. Grand Hefe himself. Billy, how you doing today, man?
Still a good day, Mike. Still a good day.
Still a good day?
Still a good day.
Still a beautiful day.
Hey, man, we got a lot of good things to talk about in sports. So, Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. I'm excited, honestly, for real.
It is a great week to be alive because after the Super Bowl, sports don't stop. Basketball keeps happening.
Yes.
And speaking of basketball, Anthony Davis, the New Orleans Pelicans are hitting petty mode, as you can say. They have officially taken AD off of their pregame hype video, and the coaching or the general manager said it was to prevent the fans from getting in AD's face and letting him have it and cheering or not cheering for him, etc. Do you think this bridge is getting burned, Hatton?
Yeah, it's definitely getting burned, Mike. And the GM, Dale Demps, this guy is that's the most idiotic statement that I ever heard. Oh, well, we want him to not be booed by the fans. So what do you think that's going to do? When you, the owner, is saying, well, we're done with this situation, as the fans is going to do. Everybody this is going to be real ugly. I said this yesterday. This thing is going to get uglier, Mike, because eventually Rich Paul and Anthony Davis, they're going to go to the Lakers. And who is going to give up as many pieces to get Anthony Davis? Yeah, Danny Ainge said he's still going to try, but what if Kyrie doesn't re-sign there? Do you even have a chance of even re-signing Anthony Davis in the summer of 2020? Yes, this is getting really, really petty. When you get the guy fined, when you ask the league to look in investigation into him, and then you now take him from the video tribute. I'm still unsure, Mike, if this deal will get done before the deadline, but they're going to make it awfully hard, Mike, to be in that work environment when Anthony Davis comes back. So even when he comes back and he's playing for the Pelicans, is he still going to be off the video?
Yeah.
How is that going to make – obviously, he don't want to be there, but how is that going to make him feel? Do I even want to play for you now at that point? Do I even want to play games now?
Yeah, I mean –
so this is getting real muddy.
This is getting really muddy really, 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 really fast because we all know AD wants to go to LA. He hasn't come out and publicly said it yet. If he has, I have not heard it yet because they're still talking about the Knicks and the Celtics and all this stuff. But the Pelicans have been on record saying that he will not go to LA before the trade deadline this year. So this is telling me that them and Boston have some type of deal working this off season because they can't trade him before the All-Star break.
I don't know if that's necessarily it, Mike, but it's that why, if you're the Pelicans, if you're Dale Demps, is there really any rush to get Anthony Davis off your books and just send him to the team that he want to go to, which is the reason why he signed Rich Paul? Or is it, let me just wait till the summer? I mean, he's still contractually obligated to the Pelicans all the way through next season. So he's not a free agent until the summer of 2020. So honestly, it doesn't benefit the Pelicans to say, yeah, I'm gonna get him done in this 10-day window that they strategically placed. No, if you're the Pelicans, you're saying, no, I'm gonna wait.
Well, actually, it does help them by getting them off the books before the All-Star break this year, because AD can say, my fingers hurt. I need surgery on my hand, and I won't be able to play until next All-Star break because I'm getting complications. It still hurts. Like I can't shoot. LA is willing to give them the house, the car, and pay for all the notes. So
and guess what?
Why not deal with them?
Because that offer is still going to be there in the summer.
I don't think that's.
You don't think Lonzo Ball? You don't think Ingram? You don't think Kuzma? You don't think those picks that they have, or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Zubac? You don't think those guys are still going to be there?
They might be there, yes, but the value of AD kind of goes down because that because after that season, he is a free agent and he can sign anywhere he wants to. Because like if you were to trade him now, you still have a year and a half on him.
Yeah, they have until next trade deadline to basically get rid of him. So they got essentially a whole nother year to find out what they want to do. So honestly, it benefits them none really to do business with the Lakers. It honestly benefits them none because guess what? Boston, he doesn't have a say-so where he gets traded or not. So Boston can still if you ask me right now, Mike, you're Dale Demps, the GM of the Pelicans. I'm Danny Ainge, and I'm willing to give you Tatum, Brown, Smart,
Hayward.
No. I don't think Hayward goes anywhere. I Tatum, Brown, Smart, Rozier, in the Kings pick, and all the Lakers are giving you is Kuzma, Ball, Hart, Ingram, and two Zubac maybe, and a couple first round picks. Who would you rather take?
I would definitely take the Celtics trade 100%. But it doesn't benefit you right now to do that. But the Celtics, they may not want to deal with him right now because if AD doesn't want to play there,
it doesn't matter.
He can still say he's still hurt, and the
but
Celtics
Danny Ainge already said he's still going to sign for him. Danny Ainge said, "I'm still going to make an offer for him. I don't care that he doesn't want to come here." You know, and that's a report from Chris Haynes and Adrian Wojnarowski. These guys said it doesn't. Danny Ainge is still willing to make an offer for Anthony Davis because a team like Boston is similar in the situation as Toronto is or was before they got Kawhi. We can make a push for this. We were one game away from going to the NBA Finals without Kyrie Irving. Imagine if we got Anthony Davis. Imagine what going to the NBA Finals could do for him since he said he only wants to play for a team that's going to be competing for championship.
Yeah, but like if you think the Celtics give away all those assets, do you think adding Anthony Davis to that team puts them in the championship?
Well, if they are able to re-sign Kyrie, they'll still have Kyrie. They'll still have then they have Anthony Davis. They'll still have Horford. They'll still have Gordon Hayward. They get their first round pick, and they still have that Memphis first round pick. So yes, they in the East, they can surely compete with any team. With Kawhi already stating that he wants to go to the Clippers, so that's one less foe or enemy that you have to worry about. And the only other team you have to worry about is the Milwaukee Bucks that only have Giannis, and the 76ers who really they have Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid, but Ben Simmons is a non-factor. So yes, I could see that happening. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm just saying if I'm the Pelicans, why would I want to do business with the team that I know undermine me? You know,
True.
This was in motion, Mike. He fired his agent, went with Rich Paul. From reports, the Pelicans was already trying to advise him not to do that because they already knew what was happening. He did it anyways. Now, 2-3 months later? Oh, he wants to be traded. Obviously, he wants to go to the Lakers. You don't sign Rich Paul and not want to go to the Lakers at this point. So the Pelicans really have no incentive to dealing with the Lakers. And then, Matthew said this yesterday on the show, but I had said this in a group chat. They're going to have all of the Lakers, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, Hart, Lonzo Ball. Why would you even want that team? Why?
Because they are young assets that you could trade for more players.
I don't know. The more times you trade a person, Mike, trade value goes way, way down.
True. I agree with that 100%.
Especially guys that's not established in this league. You get one good trade out of them. That's it. I don't think you'll be able to trade them anywhere else unless they come to your team and just ball out. Then, yeah, of course, trade value goes up because these guys are still young. But the likelihood of them pulling off 2 blockbuster trades with the same people, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and I am totally on AD's side on this. I think the Pelicans are being very, very petty at this point. So I never really wish ill will on anybody, But let's say they do make this trade with the Boston Celtics. I truly hope that both of those teams are horrible after these trades. Like I'm talking 12, 14 wins. Like
You talking about the Pelicans and the Celtics?
Yeah, like I both want them just to be horrible. Horrible.
That's some strong hate there, Mike.
No, it is not hate. It is just them being petty and then not wanting to deal with LA because that's where AD wants to go. So I kind of hope karma comes back their way and they are just horrible for the next 3 or 4
years. Yeah, them doing all of
years.
this, Mike. Them doing all this to the Pelicans, that is, Mike. They're only hurting themselves because really,
who wants to go there?
Mike, they had all the trade leverage. Mike, put it this way, Mike. Had the Pelicans, once Anthony Davis said, "I don't want to be here," had the Pelicans done everything right, media, press conference. Oh man, we love Anthony Davis. We're sorry to hear this. Blah blah blah. They don't mention anything about no investigation. They don't keep going on and on about it. They don't take him out of the video. Anthony Davis now feels comfortable that, okay, we may be able to get this deal done, and they still may send me to the Lakers.
Right.
Now, Mike, I'm going to force you to send me to the Lakers because, as you mentioned earlier, I'm going to sit out with injury. This hand injury is a lot worse than what I thought, and that's a big part of my game, blocking shots, dunking the ball.
Right.
So I can't play. Now, who's going to trade for a guy with a bad hand? Also, who's going to trade for a guy with a bad hand that sought out on you and only said he's going to play for the Lakers? What they're doing is they're being petty, and in the end, Anthony Davis and Rich Paul could be the pettier ones, and they could get what they want.
So before we move on to the next question here, Hatton, I'm going to ask you a couple things here. With them moving AD out of that hype video, with them being petty, if the Pelicans do not move AD before the April or the February 7th deadline, do you think AD plays for the rest of the year? How do you think the fans have him at the games? Are they going to boo, cheer, etc.? And if he does play, do you think he even gives 80% effort?
If he does play, I don't think he gives effort. I'm gonna answer that one right off the bat. I think that one's easy. The problem is, Mike, and I said this, I think, a couple of days ago. It's going to be hard to sell a guy that already said he don't want to be here. And I said this before the video came out. I said it's going to be that's going to be a contentious locker room with a guy that already said you guys aren't good enough to win me a championship, so I want to get out of here and play with LeBron. It was already going to be hard enough.
Yep.
And now you done remove him from the video, Mike. Now both sides are sending shots. It's that locker room, Mike, is going to be it's going to be tough, Mike. It is going to be tough to deal with, to play in. They may be forced to move him before the deadline. I'm just not sure if that's going to happen.
It really sounds like we have another San Antonio case on our hands from last year with Kawhi happening.
Yeah, Popovich has been on. It's been reported Popovich has told Dale Demps, the GM of the Pelicans, don't do business with the Lakers. So that tells you right there, Mike, everything you need to know.
Pettyville.
Yes.
Speaking of Pettyville, Roger Goodell finally addressed the media about the non-call in the Saints-Rams game. He has basically said that the refs are humans. Everybody makes errors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then he goes on to say that the play should have been called a pass interference. And then he kind of alluded to that, we are going to basically he was saying that he wants this play to be able to be reviewed during the game. What are your thoughts on this? Like, first of all, should these plays be reviewed?
I said this last week when it happened, man, and I think in crucial moments, certain things should just be able to be reviewed. And if you already got a rule in the rule book saying that the commissioner can overturn the outcome of the game, meaning one team lost, one team's win, he can say, no, now you won and you lost, or I can I have the power to replay the game from that moment or just replay the game in general, then why shouldn't you be able to look at these things to keep that from happening? So, because I think that's even more egregious, Mike, when after the fact, you saying, oh, if you're the Rams, oh, man, I won. I'm going to the Super Bowl. And Roger Goodell say, nope. Saints won this game. They going to the Super Bowl. Y'all lost. That, to me, that's even worse. So get it right on the field of play. That way there's no debate about it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. But once you start to review pass interference calls, then you have to review the holding calls. And then you have to review the offsides call that wasn't on D Ford in the championship game there. but once you start reviewing this call, then why can't you review every other call on the field? And then it gets to the point where, you know, the Rams throw a touchdown pass, and the Saints want to review a non hands to the face call that was on the defensive end. At some point, you have to draw the line. I think the replay is fine where it is right now. This was one missed call. Yes, it was a big missed call, but one out of a million calls like all season that maybe change the outcome of their game. Yes, you can say this happens weekend and, you know, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But just having one big pass interference call should not change the outcome of every other game that is out there. Keep
Mike,
the way it is. Don't change it.
But if you remember, Mike, this is not a new discussion. That's why it's not really new news here. The people asking for a pass interference call we've been doing this for years now. This ain't just when this happened 2 weeks ago against the Saints. No, people been asking for this for the longest because in certain moments of the game, this is big time, Mike. You know, so I just think in certain portions of the game, certain things should be reviewed. Who's to say the rules that they got out now? Who says those should be the ones that's reviewable? No, we just go with it because that's what the NFL says. But this is just pass interference calls are just as big, especially in the NFL where it's a spot foul.
Yeah,
we ain't talking about a 15-yard penalty like it is in college football. We're talking about if you throw a 99-yard bomb and I get interfered with on the 1 yard line, guess where the ball goes? On the 1 yard line. That's the difference between winning and losing games. So yeah, we're not talking about a 10-yard holding penalty or, you know, a chop block 10-yard, you know, no, a 5-yard offsides penalty. We're talking about something that one gives you an extra set of downs or could put you right on the brink of scoring. So I think certain plays should be reviewed. And, you know, everything don't need to be reviewed. No, I can understand that.
Well, if you're using that logic, they're saying that this one pass interference call can you know give you a new set of downs, get the ball moved up 30 plus yards. Well, that one missed holding call could have gave me a sack and lost to 16 yards. And if you look at the stats, usually when I believe it was 70% of the time, if a defense gets a sack, that team is going to punt that drive. So you cannot tell me that a missed pass interference call is not as important as a missed holding call that could have caused a sack, could have caused a team to punt. And then I could have returned the punt for 40-plus yards, put me on the 20-yard line, and I scored the very next play.
So I ask you this, Mike. If you're a coach, would you rather have, and your team is on offense, would you rather have a defensive pass interference call missed or a let's say, because you said what a holding, let's say a defensive or offensive holding call miss. Which one, Mike?
Well, since I'm on offense, I don't care if my line holds and it gets free. I'm more worried about the pass interference call.
So what is the most I would say most important penalty call, and that's the pass interference, Mike, because that's the only one that's a spot foul. You can get a holding on the defense, Mike, and it's 5 yards and it's an automatic first down. Yeah, right. You're just moving up 5 yards though.
But it's still a resetting of but it's still a first down.
It's still a first down, but you still have. But we're talking about a pass interference call that can potentially flip field position. Field position. We're talking about now. If I punt, now I can. If I do have to punt, now I can pin you inside the 5. Or
are you saying that a sack doesn't do the same thing? That flips field too.
Yeah, but how many 60-yard sacks are we getting in the NFL?
I'm not talking about a 6-yard sack.
No. Yeah, but that is what. But that's what we're talking about.
I'm talking about a 10-yard sack that leads to a punt that leads to
And I get that, but I'm talking about a 60-yard a defensive pass interference.
I'm just saying
which one is more important? I'm just splitting hairs here, but I'm just saying a 50 or 60-yard pass interference call, Mike, is a shot in the gut rather than a missed holding call. I'm that to me when I watch football.
Are you saying it are you saying a sack isn't a big play too?
No, a sack is a big play, but a missed pass interference call 40 or 50 yards down the field, Mike, is a gut punch, Mike. That is a shot. You see it.
I definitely see what you're saying, and I'm on your side about that. But I'm also saying that a holding call that I'm not saying it's not significant. Yeah. I'm just saying the pass interference, Mike, the yardage that is gained and lost on that is insurmountable, Mike, because it can be 99 yards. How many other penalties in the NFL gives you 99 yards? None.
None. So that's what I'm saying for you. That's what I'm saying.
But you are speaking of like yard purposes. I am speaking of the emotional aspect of getting a big sack. If you get a sack, that inspires your team. Yes, a pass interference call
that lowers morale. It lowers morale.
But so does a missed holding call.
I don't know. I don't know if it does the same. I honestly, Mike, I don't know if it's the same because there's missed holding calls on every single play. Guys get right back up. And they go get a sack.
There are also missed pass interference calls on every play too.
9 times out of 10, once you get that pass interference, Mike, because well, what do you want me to do as a DB? Now you're frustrated. Like, what do you want me to do? He's pushing me. He's doing all this. But the moment I do something, and then 9 times out of 10, Mike, after you see that defensive pass interference, you see a big play. Why? Right. Because it's a gut punch rather than, I'm getting held. Everybody's getting held on every single play. It's still important, but a missed pass interference call that could change the game.
But I keep referring back to the holding call. A missed holding call can do the same exact thing.
Yes, agreed.
So let me ask you this. I know we're not on the rules or the game experience, staff or whoever they are. Do you think next year, 2019 football season, we see a pass interference call able to replay that?
I don't know yet. I think we'll see it in the preseason. I think they'll test it out. You know how they did. I forgot which rule it was that they did in the preseason this year.
The kickoff rule.
Yeah,
they did exactly. A couple years ago. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think we'll see something like that just to test it out, and then if it goes good, I think so.
Yeah, and do you think they can review just one time? But is it going to be like the current challenge rule now, where like you only have 2 per game, and if you get 2 right, you get an extra one. So you got to kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, I think they'll probably give you one time to do that, and if they don't give the coaches the ability to do that, I think inside of the 2-minute mark, I think that's when you'll see this rule implemented. The inside the 2-minute mark, where it's kind of like they got the guy, whoever it is, Dean Blandino or Rob Pereira, sitting in the booth,
right?
And they call down or something like that. I think that's what we'll see.
So now the real question is, if you were to make this rule and you can replay a pass interference call, do you think you can only have a pass interference call on the receiver, like where the ball is targeted, or could you have a off the ball pass interference call?
Well, normally off the ball, they normally just call that holding or whatever that they call it. So
is it going to be like a pass interference / holding type thing?
No, I think they actually call pass interference, or go back to it and get the call right. Now, but to your point there, because sometimes it's pass interference and sometimes it's defense or holding, which one will they be able to call?
Yeah, that's the real question.
Yeah, which one will they be able to call? Kind of like in the NBA, when they go to the monitor, it was clearly a foul, which is reason why the ball went out of bounds. But they're not going back to reevaluate the foul. They're going to see who the ball was off of. I think that's how it's going to be.
Well, in the end, I mean, usually the NFL gets things right. So hopefully they do get this right in the end. And they work out all the kinks of this replay system in the preseason, so they continue to put on excellent product on the field that we all starting to enjoy and love very, very much so. Speaking of products on and off the court, Billy, the AP Top 25 has come out again, and it is Thursday, so we're going to do buy or sell. So we're going to break the top 25 into teams, into groups of 5 here, and out of those group of 5, you have to buy a team that is going to make the longest run in the NCAA tournament come March. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start right at the top here. You have 1 through 5. You have Tennessee ranked number 1, 2 Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga, and Michigan. Out of those 5, who do you think is going to make the deepest run in the NCAA tournament?
I have to go Duke. The last time, I mean, obviously I'm a Duke guy, but the last time that Coach K had guys of this nature, he won a national championship. Justice Winslow, Tyus Jones, Trey Jones' older brother, Jaleel Okafor, Grayson Allen. The last time he had this kind of talent, and I think this talent is even better. The last time he had this, he won it all. So me and these teams, I gotta go Duke.
Yeah, and I hear your talent. You're like I like your talent fight 100%. But I'm gonna go with experience and like age, and that's why I got to go with Tennessee. They are a solid team, and I see them making a very, very deep run, Elite Eight, Final Four run out of those guys.
I think they get put out in the Sweet 16.
Oh, hopefully, but that's a story for a different day. Okay, the next group of 5 here, you have Michigan State, Kentucky, Nevada, North Carolina, and Marquette. Who do you think makes their longest run out of that one?
I want to say Kentucky, but I don't know. I had them in my preseason Final Four. They haven't looked as impressive as I would like, but neither have North Carolina, and Michigan State just lost Langford for the year. So I'm going to go Kentucky. I think they're the deepest team. Cal always have his guys ready, and you can never count them out.
Yeah, as a UK fan myself, they are a very, very deep team. They play 9 players every game.
Yes.
And if you watch them against Vanderbilt on Tuesday, they look like a very, very dominant national championship caliber team. So I'm going to have to go with Kentucky on this one. Next up, you have Kansas, Virginia Tech, Houston, Villanova, or Louisville. Who do you think makes the biggest run out of those guys?
Everybody would probably go with Kansas, although I don't think Kansas is that good of a team. They always can win the Big 12. We talked about that the other day, but they always fall just short not just short in the NCAA tournament. So I'm gonna go with Villanova. I think Villanova will is gonna be able to pull it together. Jay Wright, he's a good experienced coach, championship caliber. I'm gonna go Villanova.
Yeah, and they do have the experience of they've been there the last few years in the national championship game. Kansas does like to get knocked out in the Sweet 16.
Yep.
I don't have faith in Virginia Tech. Houston, I don't know a lot about, so I have to go with the Cards just because they do seem to step up for big games, but then they step down for those smaller games. The Cards have beat North Carolina last week, but then they lost to Pittsburgh as well. So I think Louisville is going to make the deepest run, but they probably only make it to the Sweet 16 if they're lucky on that one. Next group of 5 here, we have Texas Tech Red Raiders, Purdue, Buffalo, LSU, or Iowa State.
I'm going to go Texas Tech. If you haven't watched this Texas Tech team play, this team is really, really good. Jared Culver, I mean, this guy is amazing. I think he's averaging a little bit over 18 points per game or something like that, almost 19. Owens, this team is coach good. This team is a really, really good team. I've watched Texas Tech play a few games, and especially when they played Duke and they pushed Duke. That wasn't an easy game, despite what the score was. So I'm gonna go Texas Tech.
So this group of 5 is probably the hardest to pick because I think all 5 of them could make a very, very deep run if the bracket lines up for their favor. So with that being said, I gotta go with Iowa State. This Iowa State team reminds me very much so of that Final Four Iowa State team back in 2002 or 2003. I think they made a very, very deep run. It's just they don't have that one star player. They have 7, 8 guys that could start on any team in America except for Duke. So I think Iowa State makes the deepest run in this, and because they beat KU. So I don't like KU. Last group of 5 here. You have 21, Maryland, Mississippi State, NC State, Wisconsin, or Florida State. Who do you think makes the biggest run out of this group of 5?
I think Florida State makes the biggest run out of this. Also, I'm a hometown guy, obviously from Tallahassee. So I have to go to home team, but not just because of they are the home team. It's because this team is a really good team. Terrence Mann, who will probably most likely be a first-round draft pick when he comes out this year, is leading the charge. I like the schedule that they have coming up, So Georgia Tech, Syracuse really hasn't had a great year. This isn't one of Jim Boeheim's best Syracuse team, but it's still a good team. Then they play Louisville at Tallahassee at the Civic Center, and they get Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and Clemson, and a Notre Dame team that's really, really struggling. I like their chances.
Yeah, this group of 5, if you ever had a underdog pick, I think it is going to come out of these 5 here, and I want to say Mississippi State makes the deepest run because just because of their strength of schedule. They are in the SEC, and the SEC is a very, very strong conference, much stronger than the ACC, I think, personally. But we can have that debate here in a few weeks.
You think the SEC is a stronger basketball conference than the ACC?
Yeah, I do.
Mike, you are you smoking?
I am drinking some Monster, but if that counts.
No, basically, it's frying your brain, Mike. The ACC, Mike, the ACC is the deepest conference, top to bottom.
And I think the SEC is deep. I feel if you would match up teams head to head, I think SEC comes out on top. It's not it is not by a large margin by any means, but like a game or two. I think the SEC comes on top.
I don't see it. We should have that debate, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's do that debate tomorrow.
Okay. Let's do it Monday or Tuesday.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
I can't believe you said that, Mike.
Oh, okay. So like I said, Mississippi State, I think they make the longest run. Don't be surprised though if one of these teams from that group of 5 make it to the Elite 8. That's a very, very good group of 5 there.
Yes.
So we're gonna do the same thing here, Billy, but NBA edition. Mm-hmm. We are going to break it into conferences here, or in divisions, I should say, and we're going to start on the Eastern Conference and the Atlantic Division. You have Toronto, Philadelphia, Celtics, Nets, and Knicks. Who do you think makes the biggest playoff run out of that division?
Got to be Toronto. They have Kawhi Leonard. They have Kyle Lowry, Ibaka, Siakam, Danny Green, Valanciunas. That's a pretty deep squad there. I don't see Philly making that push and overtaking them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Raptors just like as well. This is a number 1 seed team from last year with the addition of
with a better team
and a new coach. Yeah, so I think the Raptors make the biggest push out of that division. Moving over to the Central Division, you had the Bucks, Pacers, Pistons, Bulls, and Cavs. Who makes the best playoff run?
Last week I would have told you Indiana with if before Victor Oladipo got hurt for the year. So by default, I have no choice but to choose Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go that as well. And they are a very, very solid team. If you guys haven't had a chance to see them yet, that Greek freak, he's kind of the real deal.
He's long. He's long. He's rangy.
You guys need to watch him play. And he looks athletic out there, like handling the ball. So like most big long guys just kind of look clumsy. He looks like an athlete. Moving down to the Southeast Division, you have Miami Heat, Charlotte, Washington Wizards, Orlando Magic, and the Atlanta Hawks. Who do you got out of that one?
This is a tough division. Kimber is an all-star starter for the first time. I think he starts to make that push, and I think they win that division.
Yeah, I've been kind of on this Hornets train all season. If they can somehow make it up to the 7th or 6th seed, right now they're sitting at the 8th seed. I think they can get that first round upset, and therefore they would be the furthest team out of that conference or that division.
Well, Mike, if they stay right where they at right now, I like that matchup with Milwaukee. Milwaukee is a good team, but if you're asking me just to compare teams, I mean, neither team is overwhelming. So I think if they stay at that 8 seed and Milwaukee stay firm at 1, I think they got a good chance. As long as they don't have to see Toronto or Boston, I think that team can beat any other team.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think Toronto does overtake that first seed.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I believe they are a game ahead in the win column. Yeah, but they have losses. But they have like 16 losses versus the Bucks 14 or something like that.
Yeah, 15 and 13.
Yeah. So let's move over to the Western Conference here. We'll start in the Northeast Division. You have the Denver Nuggets, the Thunder, the Portland Trailblazers, Utah Jazz, and Minnesota Timberwolves. Who do you got?
That's a tough division right there when you think of everything in the grand scheme. But I'm gonna go OKC. I think they are the better team. And Denver is playing out of their mind right now. They have a bunch of young guys, and those guys are working. Jamal Murray, Jokic, I think he just had another 30-something point triple-double last night. So for me, but I think Oklahoma City, if you haven't seen these guys play, Russell Westbrook and Paul George have been lighting it up, and it don't seem like it's going to stop. So for me, I got OKC edging Denver in that division.
Yeah, I hear everything you are saying, and I'm going to have to agree with you 100% of everything that you just said. But I just want to note here that every team in this division could make the playoffs.
Yes.
Like, how crazy would that be? Every team in your division makes the playoffs. Just wrap your head around that. Just a tad bit. Moving down to the Pacific here, you have Golden State, Clippers, Lakers, Sacramento Kings, and Portland or Phoenix Suns.
I think this one. I think this one is no. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this one is easy.
Yeah. It's got to be Golden State. I think we all pretty much have them circled as a championship.
Yes.
As right now, you can probably write that in ink as well.
For sure. You would just go ahead and make the trophy for him.
Yeah, just and then probably name Kevin Durant or
Finals MVP.
Yeah, whatever. Moving down to the Southwest, you have the Rockets, Spurs, Mavericks, Pelicans, yay, and Memphis Grizzlies. Who do you got?
I think with the addition of Chris Paul, I think that definitely is going to make them a little bit better than the Spurs. But I think the Spurs make a push, man, and I think they win that Southwest Division. I don't underestimate Greg Popovich, what he's been able to do this year with basically half of a team. Rudy Gay seems like he's more comfortable now that Kawhi Leonard is out of the picture. Yep. So for me, I'm gonna go San Antonio, even though I think Houston will win that division. But I'm gonna go San Antonio.
Yeah, like the Spurs are kind of like the Patriots. You can never count them out.
Yeah, exactly.
They might be some mediocre team all through the year, but once the playoffs hit, sometimes they hit that year and just like, wow, where was this team all season? With that being said, in the current standings as they stand, the Spurs would have to play Oklahoma in the first round, and Houston has a Portland Trailblazer team. And I like the Rockets to beat the Trailblazers. And just like the Rockets, they made it to the finals last year, and I kind of outside chance have them making it to the finals again. So I'm going to have to go with the Rockets on this one.
I hear you, Mike.
But it's very, very tough call.
No, it's
very
possible,
tough call,
man.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that they're playing, I mean, what James Harden was able to do scoring-wise, and then now you add a CP3 giving you another 20, 23 points per game, maybe or maybe 17, 18 points a game, but like 12, 13 assists. It's a tough team for sure.
Yeah, guys. So there you guys. This is way too early to be talking NBA playoffs. We haven't even made it to the All-Star break yet, and the playoffs start in May or something like that. And so way too early. So this will definitely change, but we'll definitely come back to this in a month or so, Mr. Hatton, just to see where we're at still. But guys, as always, thank you for joining RTF Sports Talk. Me and Grant Hefe, thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for joining us. Everybody in Spain that's listening to us, shout out.
Shout out to Spain.
Shout out to Spain. You guys are our biggest viewing audience right now. We definitely appreciate that. Americas, step it up. Share this with a friend. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Give us a ranking, preferably 5 stars. But Billy, send us out.
Hey, man, I'm looking on Instagram right now, and I'm seeing a report from about an hour ago from Mark Stein saying that the Pelicans are considering the possibility that Anthony Davis has played his last game for the team. So does that mean that they're going to trade him, or does that mean he's just going to sit for the rest of the year in order to kind of increase his trade value? Whatever it is, smart move by them.
For the sake of the Pelicans team moving forward, I hope they trade him.
Yeah, just having him on the bench is going to be tough. That just sitting there for another 40-something games, that's just going to be tough. Or until you decide to trade him, it's almost holding them hostage. But that's their right because he's on the contract. That's on you. Everybody told him not to sign the contract extension the first time. He did it. Now look at the situation he's in. Hey, too bad for you.
Let him learn, I guess.
That's going to be it for today's show, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.